My name's Aaron Mckinnon. I'm from Boise. I've been doing driver's ed for a long time. The reason I have no hair is because of all those experiences. What are you doing? And there's no more hair to pull out. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll do some teaching and learning through engagement. Like it's been said so far, thank you for your efforts in keeping the roadways and kids safe. There are very few professions or jobs where we have a chance to influence developing human beings the way we do in driver's ed. I absolutely love it. In 3 weeks, the kid who you never thought, when you looked at him first with whatever clothes he's wearing, whatever impression you had, gives you a bear hug at the end saying thank you. And the parents say thank you. It's awesome. That's my email there, aaron.mckinnon71 it should be at gmail.org. Or actually, Gmail, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's go see what we found out. Okay. From our Mentimeter. Useful information, value, money, I love it. Enthusiastic teacher, excitement, creativity, visual engaging activity, hands-on, manipulation, experiencing authentic relevance, awesome. Preparation, all those things there. I hope I am at least one of those. But the Mentimeter tool, if you have not used it before, works pretty cool. Okay. This is according to research. This is from Stanford 2016 research. The number one that they looked at in looking at all the student learning is relevance, which is a task that will satisfy important personal needs, motives, or values. If you're coming here, it's relevant because you have to have your license or certification to teach instruction or instruct our young drivers. So it's a big, huge one personal need for that. Authenticity, a task that requires you to solve real-world problems and has value beyond school or work. Autonomy, a task of your own choice or self-initiation. You get to be responsible for what happens. Collaboration, a chance to work together. Higher order thinking, for those of you who are into that educational psychology, that zone of proximal development, going a little bit beyond. It's not just rote memorization. And then a chance to self-assess. Those are the top 6 for engaging students in learning. We have those stories, we have those experiences, the ones that you have. You put them in here and you can see where they connect. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 6 different activities. We'll take a look at them, and I had this list behind me during my own teaching career all the time. Every lesson I did had at least one. Tried to get 2 or 3 in every single lesson. So number 1, current events. Every time when the students walked in, we talked. It was a chance to get to know each other. There are always local car crashes. There's going to be fatalities or other events during the session, which is super sad. But of course, it's a reality check. I want to have a relationship with my students. There's the check-in right there. Just recently in the Treasure Valley, I'm from Boise. 2 weeks ago at prom, my nephew's friend, he's at prom with his buddies in Melba, Idaho. And his friend's girlfriend gets pulled out because her mom got killed in a car crash during prom by a teenager who was a senior at the school. And so that's a big deal to that community. You'd better talk about it. Family of 4, vehicle versus train about 3 weeks ago. It's a big deal. And so you have to talk about those things. If you have not seen the Utah, you want to look up one from there. December 10th, 2023, a car crash. Vehicle versus pedestrians in a parking lot, flipped over, or somehow the kids were trapped inside. The entire school group of seniors and people in the parking lot lifted up the car so they could get people out. Super cool stuff. And so it's available out there. Okay, first thing, what did having a conversation like that, bringing those things up, which of those 6, would having a current events conversation match? Certainly relevance. I think definitely authenticity. If you're in a car crash, what do you do? How do you handle it? What could a kid be prepared to do that? Can you be an innocent bystander? We talked about the liability stuff there. Are you trained to do things? Those Good Samaritan laws. It opens up a great conversation. You will hopefully be prepared to do those things in your life if it comes up. My friend and I doing our little workouts and stuff, it's the be prepared workout. Yes, we were both scouts, but could we be prepared to help anybody in any situation? What's it take? All those things in a parking lot. Once a car turned over, could you help lift it up? Know how to help in those situations? How would you handle a friendship relationship where your friend's date just found out that her mother died? And by the way, that kid, the mother donated, well, the body was repurposed and a kidney saved her nephew who had kidney disease. And so there's all sorts of stuff there too with the organ donation, things like that. Pretty neat story, super sad, definitely something relevant. Okay, activity number two. This one is a get together and have a conversation. So instead of tables, you got groups of 2 or 3, I can see you out there. Come up with the top 5, you can choose. Top 5 most important things for a new driver's ed instructor or a new driver's ed student to know, or the top 5 things a parent should know, or the top 5 things that an insurance perspective would like new students to know. So with your partners, I can move around and I'll just have and come around and take a look and listen to some of your conversations. So, top 5, go for it. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, I'm Aaron. I'm right here with you guys.
Oh, good.
The Dons.
Awesome. Yep, the Dons.
Please. What do you think? Top 5. One of those. Yep.
Like the keynote speaker said, the brake and the gas pedal, that's super important and stuff. And getting the car up. They've got the foot revved on the gas. And then like adjusting the gears on it. Oh, I've got one. You can give your
Say risks. You know what they're getting into. The student need to have someone.
All right, I'm going to go with those 2. Love it, guys. Do you want to have a mind fight? Are you guys good with number 1?
quick question on this one. Do you always find the third event, or do you let the students find it sometimes?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, by the end of the
It's okay to
session,
let
they're
them-
finding their own.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. They're talking. They're talking. Excellent. I'm going to share the top 2 that we had for what does a new student need to know. Number 1, if we go way back to Prince, where the gas pedal is, where the brake pedal is. Love it. We decided number 2 was knowing risks. What are the risks while you're driving? Now let's extend it just a little bit. What if we had a debate? I call it a mind fight. You had to prove that yours was the number 1. And you had to have evidence to back it up. And then if you agreed with the other person, the mind fight, then that person would become a little bit stronger and you go around the room. A mind fight's a great way to build a little bit of challenge in there. Or a Venn diagram. For my own driver's ed instruction, I sit, and I know we all do, in a way that I can see their foot and go from the gas to the brake. That's the first thing we do. And I tell the kids, it may look like I'm slouching, but I'm watching your foot all the time. And I tell parents that, number 1, and I've given the idea of make sure they wear white shoes the first day they drive, or a glow stick on their shoe so the parent can actually see if it's going over. Because if they're wearing sunglasses and it's dark and they can't see their kid's foot, they can't tell if the gas and brake is being adjusted the right way. So a glow stick will help out, and you can actually see the foot go over and have that and predict if you're going to slow down, and we don't have to guess. So fun activity, top 5, excellent conversations, great job. You can have all sorts of different topics. If someone ever asks you why you became a teacher, what's your favorite thing, and we've been doing some interviewing at my school for different things, and we always ask that question. My favorite thing for being a teacher is the creativity of what it allows me to do with students. And so, sounds like Utah has the AAA. How do you present that information in an engaging way as a creativity? And we get to do that all the time with being teachers. All right. So, what engaging concepts did the learning experience model there? Definitely collaboration. Definitely, you had your own ideas first, then you collaborated. Definitely higher order. Yep, so we got 3. If you have 3 engaging activities in one learning experience, it's huge. That's going to be something the kids are going to walk away with and remember. The time's going to go by super fast. There's a couple compliments that make a difference with me when I teach kids. One of them is, like I said, the kid recognizes I care for him. You know, they give you a hug at the end of the 3 weeks, and they're like, man, I know you care about me. I want to give you a hug. And it's cool and it's awkward at the same time. Another one is, you know what? The time went fast. I was engaged. And another one is when the kid came in and he punched me in the arm. I didn't know why for a long time. He just come in and punched me in the arm. I asked him, and he's like, you made me think at home. I saw your face during dinner because we had a conversation about what we talked about in class. Your face popped up, and he hit my arm just to say, you popped up in my, it was like, that's what teenagers do. So he'd come in and hit my arm every day because what we were learning in class was relevant to him at home, and he had those conversations. And it was a compliment to get hit by my friend Zach. And he was like, Mr. Mckinnon, it happened again last night. We talked about physics, and we talked about road rage, and whatever it is. My parents saw it. My parents almost had it. And I told them how to calm down and all those fun things. And it was relevant to him because he saw it at home. All right, number 3, an interactive PowerPoint. I love PowerPoints. I hope we all do. It's a way to share information, but they're pretty much boring. Death by PowerPoint, we've all heard that. And so if we have an interactive PowerPoint, a chance for people to participate, it's a little bit different. And then an empty one where the students have to create it. Okay, and then they compare theirs to yours. And so here we go. We do some rural driving. I did Idaho versus Utah. What percentage of Idaho roadways are rural? What percentage of Utah roadways are rural? Annually, what percentage of fatality crashes in Idaho occur on rural roadways? And in Utah, is there a difference? Oops, you can't see that. Utah is number 1 for the safest rural roadways, by the way, in America. Great article, current events, last year. That's when that came out. Any guesses out there? I've got a cough drop if you get it. 100% correct. All right. It used to be in Idaho 96. It is now 88. Annually, about 70% of fatality crashes in Idaho occur on rural roads. In Utah, you can see that it's a little bit lower, but way lower for the percent of fatality. Okay, so why? Why are there so many fatalities? What's your prediction? Like we heard from Rich just a second ago, we got 30, 40 years experienced guys in here. Could you come up with 5 reasons? Of course. Okay? If you've never been to Cary, Idaho, there aren't too many neighborhoods to drive in. The main road through Cary, Idaho is the highway going 65 miles an hour. And there's not much else there in Cary, Idaho. And that's super sad and a super scary situation. Is that a rural road? It goes through a rural area. They're going fast. If you're local, do you wear seatbelts? A lot of times it's head on. There are things that don't move very much. So there's all sorts of ideas there, populated with the students. This one is the empty one, and I would give this to the students and they would fill it out. So if I did the rural one, I'd go through it with them, we'd fill it out together, we'd take notes, they're guessing, we'd fill it out. You can see how I kind of did that. You know, it's empty, then we went to full. The next slide, if I were to do this, would show the real reasons. We would guess it, but it's interactive. Then let them do it on their own. And you can do it in collaboration, give a few slides to each kid. They go and do their Google thing, and then we give the presentation to the class. So there is a huge buy-in there because their friends are going to see it. They're going to compare theirs to mine. They can do things like this. They know, you guys know your area really well. Where is the congested area? Why is it congested? How does it change? I can drive across town at 2 in the morning way different than I can at 4:30. They're filling this out. Random picture, can they see all those things? Can they compare their answers to mine? Can they come up with all that stuff? And it gives me so much information about what they've read or what they haven't read, how prepared they are or how prepared they're not, and where I need to go. So by walking around the room, getting a vibe of what's going on, I can see what students need and who's prepared, who's not. All right, so what engaging concepts? It says the interactive and empty PowerPoint model. Definitely autonomy, definitely collaboration, definitely higher order thinking. If you share it out so everybody gets to see each other, so the kids evaluate it and how much they learned, there's the self-assessment. You can make it relevant if you included point value to it. Probably not so much authenticity. But that's a hugely high engaging activity. All right. You've all done a how-to manual. It's a great one. How are you going to do a flat tire? Let's jump a car. But you have to compare yours to your other team, to the people in the room. Or if you gave your instructions to another team, could they follow it? So you go out to the cars and you have them follow the examples explicitly. How could you improve it then? That puts that little bit of extra pressure on there of my peers have to do this. It's not just turn it in to get it done. Yeah, I can make a cool rap about it and stuff like that. It's awesome. But if my peers have to look at it, it brings in one of those things. All right. It does almost all of them if you do the how-to manual also, because it is a real-world problem. Right, number 4. This is my homage to AAA. I typed in AAA videos. There are hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. So which ones do we keep? And why? Do you just watch a video to show a video? How much of the video? Are you pausing it? Are you stopping it? Are you checking out, doing grades? So if you switch it and say, guys, I don't know if this video is any good. What, should we watch it? This little evaluation form, they can fill it out and stuff like that. They do the evaluation. It's an amazing thing because they are part of the class. They tell me yes or no. If we watch it with 0 sound, and they create the dialogue, that forces them to think about what would the people who are doing this video say. So the car crashes, if you've seen the car crashes that they simulate at high speed with the inflatable cars, where they show the cars just exploding and it's an inflatable car, it's super cool. It's like 30 seconds long, they show it at different speeds, there's no narration, have the kids narrate it, and they would be able to tell why, what's going on, all of those things. Really fun activity, super easy to do. You've got a ton of videos from AAA. You can't watch them all. Have them be a part of it. Send them to the website. Have them choose the top 5, if you do 2 activities in one, top 5 videos we should watch and why. And then the next time we watch them, it's a fun thing, easy thing to do. Okay, my favorite one here. I love watching movies about driver's ed, and again, this is where the kid comes and punches me every day. Every time he watches a movie and there's any driving in it, he would come in and punch my arm. They did this wrong, how about this? So the Italian Job, the old one or the new one, they got the Mini Coopers, and it's got some amazing actors in there, but they've got 2,700 pounds of gold to put into a Mini Cooper. Can they do it? And how would it change? So if you're driving a Porsche or you're driving a truck and you're moving stuff, doesn't make a difference if you're going up the windy, curvy roads. This is my favorite one for this one because it's physics and I'm a physics teacher too. Blood on the highway or blood on the carpet, because the kids get so into the physics that they have left marks on the ground trying to prove their point, and they can't because they can't beat physics. So how does it change? Letting them figure it out with a cool movie. We'll see if it actually popped up. Oh, looks like All right, if you keep going, my son drives a Mini Cooper that I get to drive every once in a while. It is really, really fun, and it changes if you have people in the car, because it's such a small car. I also drive a smart car, which is tiny, and you can get like 24 rolls of toilet paper from Costco inside there. It's pretty cool. Doesn't change much because of toilet paper, but how does it change? Fun stuff, easy videos. This one is my favorite from Cars. Okay, interaction for this one. At your little group that you had last time, at least 5 different things you could talk about from the video of we got ourselves a nodder from Cars there. Come around and listen to what you guys have to say. All right, Sam.
All right.
You and me again.
So you could talk about a couple ways that people think that they can stay awake, like turning up the music, rolling down the window, when in actuality, we know that you actually have to pull off to the side of the road.
Yep, drowsy driving. Yep.
Night driving.
Night driving, yep.
I mean, I know it's a kid movie, but with the road rage, maliciousness.
Yep.
But maybe bumping.
Yep.
Yeah, what would you add as well?
The rumble strips, kind of hard to see, but they had the rumble strips there. Okay. Yeah, the how to deal with the wolf pack when driving. And then you've got those cars with all those modifications and who are they paying attention to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
those are good ones. Yeah, I like that.
We're going to be done fast. This is fun. Sam helped me out. Obviously, you got drowsy driving. I've never seen a drowsy driving sign in Idaho, but as soon as you come across the road or come across the state line into Utah, it has several of them. I don't know what that means exactly, Idaho versus Utah, but there's a lot of transfer going back and forth. I've got to drive back to Idaho tonight, so I'll be dealing with that. There's obviously that. There's driving at night. The rumble strips. Did you notice rumble strips? So you can see the rumble strips on the side. Actually, they put that in there. It's a good little detail. Dealing with a wolf pack or aggressive drivers is another one. And then recognizing when someone is driving like that, who are they paying attention to? It's usually not other drivers. When you have someone who's got a car that looks like that, they're going to pay attention to their car and not to other people. So some fun stuff. Easy things to do. We'll take a look at those. If you have not seen Gone in 60 Seconds, Nick Cage, and I think there's some great actors and actresses in there. But he gets his car, Eleanor, at the end, and he steals it. How do you protect your car? How do you protect your ride? He gets mad, and how do you drive when you're mad? And if you are ever in a car chase, but that part we're not looking at. The Fast and the Furious. I've only seen one Fast and the Furious, and it's this one. What's illegal? And then how-to booklet. You can do the how-to booklet for anything. How to control your rage, your emotions. And then the ending for this, what I actually did in class for the final is, they had to write the ending, the do not do these things kind of thing, warning, so that their peers would actually recognize it and read it. This was a tough one because the kids, the boys love this show. They love to drive like this. They want to drive like this, but they can't driver's ed, and this forces them to think a little bit about it. All right, really, really fun stuff. There's lots of movies out there, and with the power of Google and YouTube, it's all free and you can get it. I've got all these way back DVDs, but don't need them anymore. All right, whoops. Okay, so we did 6 activities. I've got 2 more. We got plenty of time. But I hope you're recognizing that engaging is fun. Doing in class is different than doing in the car. In class, the first thing I do is we have so much fun. I don't know any of the kids. They're coming from all around the valley. And I find one who looks like they can handle a joke, and we will play a prank on the entire class. That he gets a cell phone text in the middle of class. We've talked about cell phones and stuff. I give him a little high sign. He gets the text. He starts talking in the middle of class. We get in an argument. It gets heated. I kick him out of class. He's all upset, and the class is dead silent. And I tell him, the rest of the class how upsetting that was, and all the things, all the stuff that a teacher would talk about. Then I go out in the hallway to talk to him, and we just start busting out laughing. We're having such a good time. We come back in there, and we pranked you all, but we talk about the importance of paying attention, the importance of staying engaged, and all the things with drivers, with not just a classroom, but when you're driving. Really, really fun, super fun to be creative. Just got a couple more we can talk about since we have a little bit of time. My personal favorite is the debate. Is it better to be mentally prepared or physically prepared for driving? Which is more important? So if you're to have a debate, you'd have to think, what are the characteristics of a physically impaired driver or physically prepared? And if you haven't seen the video of the girl who has no legs and no arms and she still drives, it's incredible. The modifications she has, or maybe it's just no arms, but it's an incredible thing how the car works and she can drive. It's super cool. What physical skills does the driver need? Eyesight, all those different things, but the mental aspects, what does it take? What's it take to be prepared? This could turn into the final project where they have to create a manual or a brochure or something like that talks about the importance of both. A thing that they write home to their parents and say, I will do these things. This is what it takes for me to be prepared physically, Mom, Dad. This is what it takes for me to be mentally prepared, Mom, Dad. I know about them. They've been reviewed by my teacher and my classmates. I will sign off that I will do that. So there's that commitment, a brochure for their parents, whatever it might be. And then, of course, there's all sorts of recent legislation that happens every year about driver's education, about driver's age. It might be fees, insurance, age limits, all those things. We have 30 hours. I'm not sure what it is in Utah. How many hours do you have to have for in-class observation? Or is it in-class instruction? 27, okay, so close. So we do it sometimes 45 minutes, an hour, it might be 2-hour sessions, but having this list behind me, all the time recognizing that if I can do at least one of these things, it's going to make a difference to the kid who's sleeping, because he's not going to be sleeping when they're engaged in one of these things. It helps me out a lot, and that is it. Time is fast. Okay guys, I'm done.